This whole conversation has reminded me of another part of this world that enrages me. And that is the world's dwindling vocabulary. I listen to a lot of talk radio, and a lot of it's conservative talk radio, and I'm listening to Mark Levin. And Mark Levin is,
I think I found your problem.
Yeah. He's sitting there crapping on Chuck Todd. And he's talking about how Chuck Todd's not a journalist and blah, blah, blah. He's doing this, that, and the other thing, and he's no journalist. You know how he talks. And like, I'm thinking to myself, Chuck Todd's show is called Meet the Press, where the press comes in and talks about their opinions. I mean, that's what the show is. It's not really journalism. It's not really news.
No.
And then you have Mark Levin, who's sitting there just talking about his opinion the whole time. And that's not really news. And we have a bunch of people who both think that they're news, crapping on the other one.
Neither of them are news.
When neither of them are news.
Yeah.
And they're pundits. They're not journalists.
Right. And
journalists are a dying breed. You can find some working for the major newspapers. That's kind of where they are now.
Right. And so it's hard to support something that that one doesn't even know the term to apply to them. We're all sitting here and we're throwing this word scientist and when I say we, I mean society. We're throwing this word scientist at people who aren't journalists, at people who aren't journalists, at people who are opinions where they're not. It's like everything is just so incredibly confusing, and nobody's really getting anywhere. And I guess that's the end of my rant. It's very frustrating.
Yes, it is. And add that to the fact that people embrace everything. They don't bother to check for another source. They see a link on the internet. They see a story from some source, and they don't bother to look if there's another source. They don't check to see if the information is valid.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that and we accept invalid content as real, then fake becomes truth. And we see that in the political realm all the time. And now that's bled into the UFO field, where people think that Alexander the Great saw UFO when he was conquering Persia. No, he didn't. That came out in a 1950s novel. That's fiction. People think that Eisenhower signed a treaty with the aliens in the 50s. There's not one iota of evidence to prove that at all. It's a story. Hoax cases that have been proven to be hoaxed on multiple occasions by different researchers that have nothing to do with each other. Somehow these cases have a life of their own. They're legends. They're embraced. Well, if we're going to embrace the invalid, well, no wonder we're laughed at as a field.
Yeah.
By the outside world.
Kara brings on every couple of months a story about David Meade talking about the end of the world, and it always perplexes us.
To be fair, that guy doesn't even pretend to be a scientist.
Well, no, but the question is, how many times do you get to cry wolf until people are just going to be like, whatever, guy?
This is a guy who's predicted that the world's going to end, a couple of months from now on some specific date, every few months for like 5 years. And he still gets media coverage.
Right.
Sure.
At this point, I think people are just like, it's funny that he's doing it, but it's kind of sad too, because there are people who still believe him somehow.
Right. Well, we're at this toss-up between the need of sensationalism to get a message out, and the boringness of reality.
Yeah.
No, it's in the UFO field. You keep hearing this is the year of disclosure. I've heard that every year since 1984.
Oh yeah,
never happened. But people keep buying it. They keep buying tickets to conferences, hoping this will happen. It never does. So same thing, cry wolf. But in this field, you keep crying wolf, and they keep buying it.